You want this one? Or roll your chair in.
Plus, I gotta go change the water every day.
Move up. Slide your chair over and up. You're
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
good morning, people. It's Sunday.
Sunday.
So this morning's a great morning. We have why don't you move your chair up so
It doesn't
people can
go up. This is as high as it goes.
No, there's a handle over
I
there.
tried that. It doesn't go up any higher. I think you broke it.
No, I haven't been using it. As you can see, we have my beautiful wife here, Kimberly Croft. She's co-owner of Croft CNC. One of the things that I've always wanted to do for you guys is to make sure that this show has a human face to it. The different things that go on in business and the different ways that we do things to make parts for customers. That's always been at the forefront of what I wanted this show to be. One aspect of that is the business aspect. And yesterday, a lot of you guys popped on to talk about business. This is Copperhead Mike from Copperhead Metalworks.
Hey.
But one of the business aspects, as cousin
Kevin. Hey.
One of the business aspects that a lot of people miss out on is the actual behind the scenes. And I've made it very apparent. I don't tell her because I don't want her to get big ass head. I mean, look at the video. It's already there. No, I make it very apparent. Croft CNC wouldn't run without you. Like, there would be no Croft CNC without you, because as I look at it, Croft CNC, Kimberly is Croft CNC. I'm the shop worker, because if I had my way about it, we would have no money in the bank because I just keep buying machines.
For real.
Like,
as soon as it comes, you spend it as quickly as it comes in, and not on like personal stuff, but stuff for the shop.
Yeah. And Kimberly has to put a halt to that and tell me, like, yo, how am I going to buy your materials for you to make projects if I don't have money to buy that? That's John, Razorback John, does the Arkansas Razorback signs.
Oh, okay. Hi, John.
That's one aspect that a lot of people forget about.
Messenger video.
Hold on one second, guys. We've got Uncle Carlito chiming in this morning. Before you say anything, Carlito, you are on Coffee and Cuts in the Morning with Chris, special guest Kim.
He doesn't want to talk to you.
I guess he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't want to talk. Maybe he's like, yo.
It's like, I don't want to be on Coffee and Cuts this morning.
Yo.
Oh, there he is.
All right. You're on. Just so you know, you're on the mic. Your mic is hot. You're actually live with people right now.
Oh, I am? That's awesome.
So this gives another human face to Coffee and Cuts. Carlos, tell people what you're planning on today and what we have in store for the next week.
I'm violating government orders and traveling to Pennsylvania.
It's for essential work purposes, though.
For essential work purposes, on behalf of Cross CNC, just for the record.
There you go. Actually, Carlos is making his way to us to spend Thanksgiving here, and we're going to do some joint social media, and we're going to run some machines together, and we're going to do some awesome video work, right?
Oh yeah, I got some goodies for you guys.
Right on.
I got two 45-inch curved monitors for you.
Whoo!
I got one power supply, so we'll go test, and then this is for your youngin. It's a custom joystick board with a Brooks universal fighting board installed, so she can use it for her Xbox as well.
Nice.
So, I think she's going to be really cool. You guys will be able to run that on your Raspberry Pi too.
Nice.
Cool. Awesome.
So we're going to have a lot of.
So
At my job, and I'm going to sneak out of here as fast as I can.
right on. So we need to load up a Glowforge or something also.
I had the plan was to bring the new laser box with us, but the laser still not running yet. So I've got MakeBlock sending me some parts in the mail to see if we can get that up and running.
Right on.
Yeah, I had wanted to, but it wasn't in the cards this time.
Right on. All right, my man. Everything going good otherwise?
I'll hit you up when I hit the road, man.
Okay, sounds good. I look forward to it. Be safe. Later. All right, guys. That right there shows you exactly what we're talking about. I mean, we have people that travel from all over the United States to come see us and see what we're doing and give that human face to what we do. Last night we had damn it, Mark, that's his name. I always call him Hammerhead. But Mark stopped by, and he's a millwright for Cumming Textron. But he wanted to see what all we did, and he had no idea. I hear millwright, I think machinist and all around mechanical guy, and it turns out he was here for a couple hours.
Yeah, he was here for quite a while.
And
You might cut out.
oh, how's that? Let's see. I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, he stopped over and took a look at the shop. So we have people coming in and out of here all the time, checking out what we're doing, and or maybe it's just me. I think it might be you, Mark or Mike. We'll move that back a little bit. Talk into the can. Okay. All right. Hold on here. Let's see what we got. Talk into the can. Check 1, 2.
Oh, wait, I got to think. How does it go? It goes,
I have
a Polish friend and I have a Czech one too.
How's that, guys? Give me a feedback. I need somebody to pop it up. Are we speaking pretty good?
Check.
Microphone check 1, 2, 1, 2.
Still low. Let's see what's going on here. I didn't touch anything, so you can't blame me this time.
I can. I will always blame you. Check 1, 2. How's that?
It is the boss woman. That is correct.
It's a trap. Let's see here. Okay, so Copperhead said mic cut out real low. Maybe it's just me talking to the can. Oh Lord, it's the boss woman.
It's me. I'm here to crack the whip today.
It's a trap. I can hear you. I turned my volume up. I think it kicked low when you set the phone down. Okay. And loud and clear. Okay, so we're good. So we have a lot of people in and out of the shop, but what people don't realize is, where is the shop located?
At our house.
What does that
all
do?
over the house, actually.
What does that do for you? I mean, you're somebody that really likes things organized and put in place, put together. And I am not.
You're not.
If
at all.
Whenever we got together, I told you it either has to be perfect the way I want it, or
it's a cluster.
It's a complete chaos. I know where everything's at unless you move it.
It was where it belonged. I wouldn't have to move it.
So, you know, what is that like for you? And make sure you project into the microphone.
Okay. It's frustrating. It is very frustrating. Thank you, Josh. Yes, that is probably the best description that we could give it. It is a cluster. There's just parts of things laying around all the time. There's people in and out all the time. And for me, that's really, really frustrating.
What is it like dealing with me? Like,
also frustrating.
I've made no qualms. I'm not a business guy.
No.
I am far from a business guy. I am a dreamer and a half-assed machinist.
I don't know about a half-assed machinist,
so,
but you have like no concept of the money part when it comes to you just throw all the receipts in a basket, and I'm just like, I don't know what this was for. I have no idea what I'm looking at on this receipt. So it makes it really hard when I try to talk to you about money and you try to talk to me about machines.
Yeah, it really does. And that's a big point of frustration. What do you attribute the biggest frustration to with that? Being the, my personality.
Yeah.
And I know your personality, but I guess I'm narcissistic and sometimes just don't care.
I think that's what it is.
I wouldn't say that I don't care, but it literally, there are times where you have to be like, hey, did you eat?
Yes, for sure.
Like,
there was a period of time there. I'm not sure if you ate for like 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I get so wrapped up in the machines and the journey that I forget about things.
So I'm going to be honest. I have not tried to learn his procedures and tools because I'm going to be straight honest, not interested.
And that was
not interested. I'm just not. I mean, I'm proud of him for what he's accomplished. I love that he's so passionate about what he does. It's not for me. It's not for me. I'm a numbers person. Put a spreadsheet in front of me. Give me some QuickBooks. Like that's my forte, and that's what interests me. But you start talking about tools, and no, I'm not there. I can't. And on top of that, I love you dearly, but you don't take care of the house. I do. So I also work a full-time job. So till I get done doing all those other things, I don't have a lot of time to put into learning procedures and tools. I just need him to be very general with me when he hands me a receipt and tell me, what does this go with? Is this for the plasma cam? Is this for the router? Is this for the robotic arm? I don't need much. I just need a little bit to do what I need to do.
And to me, that is a lot.
It is
like,
a lot.
Like just sitting there, I can rattle stuff off in my head.
Yes.
No problem. That's one of the hardest things is she's a paper person and it all has to be documented. and everything for me is documented, but it's in my brain. Like I
But
have
that doesn't work with an auditor,
right,
and I'm an ex-auditor.
but
So
but
I think like an auditor.
getting that stuff out is what is probably most frustrating for you, I would think,
Yeah.
as a numbers person, as a business person, dealing with a dreamer, creator, maker.
Right.
You know what? How do you view some of the projects that we've made as Croft CNC?
I mean, you're doing more than I ever thought you were signing up to do when you started this a few years ago, like full time. I think it's great. I just don't really understand it all, and I don't even know. Honestly what all you can do. It's so many things at this point that I don't know our full capability like you do.
Yeah, if like legitimately, if I died today,
Yeah, I wouldn't.
you couldn't run the
I
business.
could not run the business. I'd have to sell it all off.
Yeah.
Please don't come kill him because you want his machinery though.
No killing the machinist.
No.
I think you'll see I'll have a heart attack first.
That could happen.
It's been a rough couple days, huh?
Yeah.
You guys know I have some medical issues, and it's been a rough couple days. You know, I put a smile on for the show, but it was touch and go Sunday night.
Yeah.
Pretty sure some major shit happened, and I just didn't go to the hospital for it. So, you know, um, what is that aspect like for you? Like you're working from home right now,
Hmm.
but eventually you're going to go back to your office.
Hopefully sooner than later.
Um, what's that like for you knowing that I work in a shop where I've already smashed my face on a hot cart, a
It's like
marble
actually
countertop?
worrisome to go back to work because I don't like if you hurt yourself during the day, I'm not going to be here to like find you quickly or help you quickly or whatever the case may be. And at the same time, it's really hard to work in the same house as you. So like I'm ready to go back. So it's conflicting.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize how stressful two conflicting personalities working in the same area can be,
Hmm.
you know, because I'm sitting here trying to get stuff done. You're on Zoom meetings
All day. That's
with
my whole job is just be on a meeting and write a policy. That's what we need. That's what I do for my job.
you know, but it's one of those things that, you know, I don't think we communicate it very well to each other.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's probably the hardest part is we don't speak the same language on
No,
the same level.
no, not
Like
at all.
like you know, and you said straight up, my stuff does not interest you.
No,
You
I'm
have no
sorry. It
desire.
just doesn't.
Um,
I think it's all very cool. And again, I'm very happy that you're passionate about what you do and that you can do it. But sorry.
yeah, and likewise, like you tell me about your stuff, and I'm straight up. I'm like, I'm happy for you if you're happy, but you're speaking Greek, so I don't know if I should be happy.
Yeah.
You know, basically, at the end of the day, we're sounding boards for each other to bitch at.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. For
that
sure.
and ruin our daughter's life. Um,
Maybe you do that.
she goes to mommy for relief.
Yes, for sure.
You know, um, what what's probably one of your favorite projects that we've put out, and why?
That's tough. You've done a lot of stuff. I mean, I really love that you can cut my fabric on the router or on the. Is that what it is?
The
Is that what
laser.
the laser? See, I don't even know what machine he's cutting it on. He cuts my fabric for my gnomes, and that makes my life 1,000 times easier. So if I had to pick a project, I mean, I'm being selfish. That's the one I like the most.
Is there?
And it's not that I don't like some of the other stuff because you do a lot of cool stuff, but like you'd be like, here, I made you this, and then somebody wants to buy it, and then I don't have it anymore. So I like my gnomes. I get to keep those and do what I need to do with them, and then sell them and make money.
Right. And that, I think whenever you first started the gnome projects, it was kind of like a getaway for you, but then you kind of bitched, and I was like, hey, I can cut that on the laser. And at first you were really pushing back on it.
Because you're so busy with everything else, I didn't know if like what I needed done was actually going to get done. So I was like, yeah, it sounds like a great idea, but 20 other things will pop up that he wants to do or needs to do, and then screw her fabric. You know what I'm saying? Like she could cut it by hand if she needed it right now. So don't worry about it.
It's the truth. It happens.
But I'm also one of those people that like I wanted to do it in the beginning for myself, and then people kept asking to buy them and buy them and buy them, which is great. Like I'm not complaining about making a few extra dollars, but I'm also one of those people that once it becomes a job, it becomes less fun for me.
Right.
So, and at this point, it's like another job because I just have so many orders. Again, I'm not complaining that I have the orders, but it is challenging to get myself to do it sometimes.
We have unique positions because it seems like everything we touch, we have the issue of too many people want it and there aren't enough of us.
And that's a good thing, but at the same time, I don't want something fun to become a job.
Right.
And not be fun anymore.
Right. And I can definitely see that aspect of it. What so you're a female business owner. Mm-hmm. What's that journey like for you? Because we've talked about this before outside of the show. I'm the face of Croft CNC. Mm-hmm. Like you do shows for me. Mm-hmm. What is that like? What usually happens at the shows? What?
I mean, you always do 1,000 times better than me but you know your stuff,
right?
And I don't. So I'm basically just manning a stand at that point. I can't. And this is where one of those things, like, it probably would be helpful for me to learn the procedures and the tools, but I don't know. Like, I don't do as well doing what you do.
What's the usual comment you get?
Oh, you must be his wife.
You must be his wife. And where's Chris?
Where's Chris? Where's Chris at? Oh, he's not here today. Where's Chris at? They don't really care about me. They're just more like, where is he? Is he here somewhere?
But is that difficult for you, being that you're the owner of the company? Like,
yeah, but you do the work for it. You put the work behind it. So I feel like I just do more of the books and make sure the paperwork is taken care of, and oh, look at him, he wants kisses. And yeah, I know his breath is terrible. I don't know. I guess in some aspects it bothers me, but then in other ones, I know that you're better at it. I know that they're looking for you. Yes, I do some shows, but I don't do nearly as many as what you would do.
Right.
So they're used to seeing you everywhere.
That, and you've done maybe a handful of lives with me.
Yeah, no, I don't like to be on camera.
Yeah. So nobody
just keep me in the background. That's where I like to be.
Right, but nobody really knows that you're a part of Croft CNC. Like, they hear about Boss Lady, but they only see me. So do you ever find that difficult? Are you ever like, what about whenever we go to Walmart? Like, I went to Walmart and people ask for my picture with me. It's like, is that ever difficult when people see me and they associate me to Croft CNC?
No, that doesn't bother me.
No,
it really doesn't. No, because I prefer to stay in the background.
Our daughter finds it really weird that people notice me at like Walmart and Wise whenever we're grocery shopping or part shopping, and she just thinks that's really weird. She thinks it's cool,
Mhm.
but like I don't. She's 12, so she doesn't really comprehend that
Right.
dad dad runs a cool business and stuff. Um, what's that like, having a kid while trying to be a working woman, an entrepreneurial woman, and a homemaker?
It's hectic, and I feel like she doesn't get enough of my time most of the time. So I'm like, sorry, gotta put these receipts in. Sorry, gotta invoice these people. Sorry, I gotta do this. And it's just busy, and yeah, I don't
She's
feel like
not a
she gets
slow
enough of her
mover.
time. No, she's not a slow mover.
Well, she's a slow mover.
Well, I know what you mean.
She moves at a turtle's pace, but she's a mover and a groover herself.
Mhm.
She's got a lot of stuff going on, doing a lot of stuff. Um, so what, as a businesswoman, what is your experience? I mean, how do you feel running a business in this climate, in this day and age? What's it like being a female business owner?
It makes me nervous, but not because I'm a female, but just because there's a lot of uncertainty right now. I think our benefit is that most of our stuff is paid off, so that helps. But it makes me nervous because everything's up in the air right now, and we're not making the money that we would normally make, and that makes it a little harder. And then at the same time, it's kind of nice that there's a little extra time for you to learn new things and come up with new things. But I mean, as far as me being a female, that I don't feel like it changes anything.
Right on. So from your standpoint, being a female doesn't have anything to do with it. You're a business owner.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
And what are some things you can put out to the people about being a business owner? I mean, what are some of the hardships, some of the roadblocks, and some of the perks?
At least with this, I mean, even when we're not in the middle of a pandemic, it is really hard to figure out what you're going to make every month. You don't have that steady income. And I rely really, really, really heavily on you to be able to um, sell your product and put yourself out there. And so that makes it a little bit hard on my side because I'm like, oh, I hope he does good today, and you just don't know what's going to happen. You never know what you're going to bring in from month to month. A show you thought was going to be really, really good could be a complete bust, and then what you would thought was going to be a complete bust could make or break your month. So I think that's the hardest part about being a business owner in this type of business.
Mhm.
Just the uncertainty. There's always uncertainty.
Are there any perks for you that you see uh, for the entrepreneurial type?
What do you mean?
Or is there any perks to owning a business? Like why not just find somebody that does this and go work for them? You know.
I mean, you have a lot more freedom in what you can do, that's for sure. And I mean, you have all the say. You can do whatever show you want or not do whatever show you want. That's like, I mean, you're always creating new things. If you were working for somebody else, that probably wouldn't be happening. Um, they hired you to do a job, and that wouldn't be your job then. So, but on my part, it's it's just setting up another type of expense in QuickBooks. So I mean, for me, it doesn't change, but yeah.
What do you think was the biggest hurdle that we overcame as a business?
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were
The
done
end.
with the sentence.
The end.
The end. um, Getting some of those startup expenses paid off was huge. That was a killer for a while.
Josh Rickard popped on here and said hi, and he loved us. If it wasn't for him and a core group of people, there was a time that
For
we
real.
weren't going to get to work.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't have had gas money to get to work. I remember you called me bawling because we had $12 in the account.
Yeah. That was really rough for a while.
Do the startup cost was deafening
Yes.
when we did this, and
Yeah.
we did it all out of pocket. It's not like we went
Yeah,
and got
we
a
didn't go
business
get
loan.
loans, and no, it was all out of pocket.
And
so we maxed out some credit cards. And
we really, at one point when we looked at the balance sheet, we were like, holy shit, how are we going to do this? And then what was it like paying that off?
It was such a relief.
It
made thank God we did it before the pandemic. I don't know how on earth we would be able to do it if we had not paid this off before the pandemic hit.
Yeah. So I actually took out my 401k when the market dropped, like right before the market dropped.
Yeah.
Everybody was bitching, and everybody was yelling at me. Like, you and I, we had a plan, we implemented the plan, but everybody was yelling at me, telling me I was an idiot for doing it. Find another way, this, that, and the other. You're going to be penalized, and then everybody lost all this money, and we paid off the business.
Right.
And there are people around us that do similar things, and they actually lost their machines and stuff like that.
It's the only thing that saved us, and it wasn't what I wanted to do, but there weren't very many options at that point. It was just the overhead for the shop was so high with the rent and just the payments on the machines and so on and so forth. We just couldn't. It wasn't sustainable.
Right.
We would have had to have a good show every time we walked out the door, and that's just not possible. It just doesn't work that way.
Right. I mean, there are shows where I come back and it costs us money.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And it's taken us a while to learn what shows those are, but if we don't have anything going on, it's one thing to go there, but if you're picking between, like, this time of year, especially normally, there's a lot of shows in October and November, so we choose wisely in those months.
Yeah.
And other months where there's very little going on, it's like, sure, why not? Make a few extra bucks, but probably isn't going to be great.
More or less, we get the coverage.
Yeah.
We get to get our name out there.
Oh,
God,
I'm out of coffee.
Go grab coffee. I'll take over.
Okay, you're good.
No, you're coming
I have
back.
To come back.
You're coming back. You're coming back.
I don't know that
Go
I have much else to say, though.
You do.
I don't know that I do.
No, guys. So she's gonna go grab coffee. By the way, what are we drinking this morning? Folgers Nior. Gold. Folgers Nior Gold. So I was really excited to have her on this morning because it lets you know, like I tell you guys, Croft CNC it's a mom and pop shop. It's me, my wife, and my daughter. And my daughter helps out in the shop when she's off school and stuff. She helps make sure packages get picked up by customers and they're paid for and stuff like that. So Croft CNC wouldn't run without the family. I really wouldn't be able to do this without the family. And when it comes to that aspect, I mean, it's really touching to think about that. My wife and my daughter have afforded me the opportunity that I have, and I wouldn't have it otherwise. So from my standpoint, I'm always eternally grateful, and everything I do is geared towards if I can make this $5 make me $10, that's $10 I get to put towards the family for a vacation or anything like that. Like our very first breakout year, we are um we are going to take a trip to Dublin, Ireland. My wife and my daughter want to go to Dublin. So the very first paycheck that I get from Croft CNC um, will be put towards doing a Dublin, Ireland trip. And to me, that shows, hey, guys, thank you for your sacrifice, but more so, this is what you've earned because you sacrificed. You believed in me, and I want to show you my gratitude. Um, and I don't think that I'll ever be able to repay what they've afforded me and what they've allowed me to do. Um, and it is what it is. But um, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that aspect of it. I don't know if she's freaking growing the coffee plant. I don't know what she's doing, but anyways, give me some comments, guys. We had a lot of comments going on there for a minute. Give me some comments. What are some things you guys want to ask Kimberly? Um, you know, whatever the case may be. Let's get it out there. Let's ask her. Let's find out. Um, and let's get this on the road. Let's ask her. Um, you guys saw that we've got Carlos Salinas is coming. He is coming in from Chicago today, and he will be spending Thanksgiving with my family. And as soon as we get that squared away, um, we're going to be bringing you some videos, some behind the scenes work that we're going to work on together. Um, we're going to have some fun. He's going to show me hopefully how to set up my 3D printer better. Um, he's going to be able to show me more than anything, he's going to be able to show me what I should be able to look forward to out of my 3D printers, because he knows 3D printers inside and out. I get by. I've got 4 of them, and I barely get by with them. I barely understand them. But, hopefully with his tutelage, I'll be able to get that squared away here shortly. Some projects we have coming up. We have Dunkled Acres, Winter in the Woods this weekend. A lot of people came by for that. It was featured on WNEP's Home and Backyard, or Backyard Home and Garden, something like that. It was a spot on WNEP 16, Newswatch 16. Here she comes. Everybody be quiet.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you were growing the coffee plant.
No, I'm sorry. I had to change the water on the turkey because somebody didn't put it in the refrigerator like I asked him to. So we have a frozen turkey.
Who'd you ask to do that?
I wonder.
The one drinking the coffee right now? You did it?
Oh, no.
You did it.
No.
Yeah.
It was not I.
Oh yeah. What is your biggest worry with me in the shop?
Hurting yourself.
What I mean, you've gotten some pretty.
And anyway, not just
You've
because you're
gotten some
having
pretty.
medical problems, but just in general, there's a lot of ways that you can hurt yourself on those machines.
I mean, I play with a big tank of propane that has fire.
Yeah.
I have a powder coat oven that can cook like 5 full-grown men at one time. That door shuts and somehow locks itself. I'm going to be in trouble.
Yes.
I play with electricity.
Yes.
No, the
No, take the turkey out. He said their turkey's still
Oh,
in the freezer.
I
We
thought
need to
you
get that out of the
oh,
freezer.
yeah, you need to get that in
Tomorrow
water.
is Thanksgiving.
I actually asked that this morning.
Yes, you did.
I was like, is tomorrow Thanksgiving already? No, so we play with a lot of stuff, and you've gotten a lot of really odd phone calls. What are some of the phone calls you've gotten while at work? There was the thumb.
I was gonna say it was one of your fingers. I can't remember which finger, but you boogered up a finger pretty bad.
Well, I shot a nail. Remember, I shot a. So I was putting together.
Oh, that's not the one I'm thinking of. I forgot about the nail.
Yeah, I was putting together an MDF box. I shot the nail in, and it hit a hard glue spot, and shot the nail out. And whenever it went out, it went through my thumb, and it nailed my thumb to the box.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-inch nail, so it went through my glove, through my thumb, and then wrapped itself. And so I had to actually take pliers and cut the nail, remove my thumb with part of the nail in it, and then pull the nail out so that I could see the damage that was done.
You burnt your face on the powder coat oven last week or week before.
I passed out and lost my balance, passed out, and went down on my face.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, super cool.
What else? I've electrocuted myself with the powder coat gun. That was good. It was like, that was when I was in Williamsport, and it was like 2:00 in the morning. I was doing a marathon run of parts, getting ready for, I think it was Bedford.
Probably.
It was something like that. Like I had racks of tattered flags and everything. We cut like 10 sheets of tattered flags. And I remember I was powder coating them, and I grabbed the hook to spin it around. And before I let go, I pulled the trigger and zapped myself.
I mean, I will say I feel better now that things are paid off. So God forbid you did get hurt. We wouldn't be like, oh my God, how are we going to make the machine payment this month because you can't work? Like
right.
That part of it is a little easier. But regardless, like, I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, I can do that all on my own, you know. So what project is there a project or an idea for a project that you really want to do with me? The end.
No. We don't work well together. We don't. I mean, it always sounds like a really good idea, and then we get into it, and we both just, like, I don't know, we start.
No, we don't.
We do.
We don't. She does. No, there's no project like you're not sitting there seeing shit on Pinterest, seeing stuff on Pinterest that you're like,
that's I just send those to you, and I'm like, make it.
Yeah, but
we're not gonna do it together.
Yeah. So we don't really work together at all. Typically, I tell my audience a lot, and maybe you can verify this. People are always like, "Oh my God, you're so smart! You're so smart." And realistically, outside of outside of my wanted knowledge base, I'm pretty much an idiot.
No, you're not. You're
Like,
probably one of the smartest people I know.
no, I understand with my stuff. I can learn stuff very easily. I can pick up on it. But outside of that, like normal stuff, I can't like put a roof on a house. We have to call friends in for that
Yeah,
and stuff. Like I it took me what 3 hours to change a faucet the one night,
something like that.
and I'm sitting there on YouTube following the YouTube tutorial on
Yeah.
it works, but like realistically we probably could have called our friend that does plumbing and he would have been like, oh yeah, it'll be done in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like i don't I don't function well outside of my scope of knowledge.
I think you do all right, but
Okay. Well, that's not the
Oh,
answer.
that's
I
not
was
the answer you wanted.
no, I
Well,
was expecting you to be like, yeah, he's pretty
you
much
suck.
you suck at life. Um,
No, because you just like watch instructional videos until you figure it out, and I don't have the patience for that crap. I just would rather make a phone call. Like I'm not going to do that.
yeah,
And you have, I mean, you got more instructional videos and watch more YouTube videos than anybody I have ever met in my whole life. Like I just can't do that.
I just thirst for knowledge. I'm
You do.
I posted I'm a renaissance man of sorts. Like I legitimately I wanted to learn alternative energy sources.
Mm-hmm.
So I researched solar.
Say you got a mouse in your pocket.
I researched solar panels and then like machining. I didn't just buy machines. Like I actually build machines. I know how to actually melt and cast the parts for machines so that if I ever needed a machine, I don't have to buy one. I don't have to go somewhere. Like we have everything to be a self-sustained commune if we want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that that's something to me I'm very proud of, but I don't think it generates a lot of money.
No,
You know.
it doesn't.
It generates a lot of heartache with your spouse. Your spouse goes, "Can you turn that shit off?" You know.
Yes. Headphones. Headphones.
Yes.
Headphones are really, really important.
Yes. So Copperhead Mike, he actually built his own CNC plasma table, and he runs a successful business. I want to say in Florida, if I'm correct, right?
Okay.
Not far from Jerome,
Oh, okay.
from JD Creations. Um, so, uh, I guess what what are some things you're hoping for in 2021? What are some goals? What are some hopes?
I mean, I
What
just
are
want
some
things to get
pitfalls?
back to normal so that you can have some more vendor shows and get your name out there more. And I think right now a lot of people know that so many businesses are up in the air that they don't know whether you're operating or not. And then it doesn't help that we had to move the shop, so they don't really know where to find you either. And I mean, I know at least a lot of the shows that I have ran that people are like, oh, I couldn't remember your name. So it's like they just they don't they don't know how to find you because they don't even know who to look up.
Right.
And I think so it will be nice to be able to get our name back out there and remind people that that you are still in business so that we can keep moving forward.
Our dog stresses us out. We have you guys have seen the two Dogo Argentinos. We have a little 5-pound Yorkie.
Well, he was on you. He was
Yeah, I know.
breathing in your face, making you throw up.
Yeah. But what so that's your hope. What's the big goal for this coming year?
I'm gonna be honest because still things are so far up in the air that like you don't know what's gonna happen yet next year. Like at this point, I just want to be able to pay the bills that we have to pay. Like that's where I'm at right now because you just don't know what's gonna happen month to month.
My biggest goal for this coming year, I have the math up there on the board, written out what I want, and if we meet that goal, I talked about Dublin. I told the people about
Oh
Dublin.
yeah, I do want to go to Dublin someday. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. Someday.
So my thing is like that's my goal, to let me know we're on the right track, is when I can purchase your guys' plane tickets to Dublin, we're going to have been able to say we jumped the shark and we made it.
Right.
At least for that time.
Right.
For that moment. John has a question for you.
When you first started, did your wife paint the projects you made? No. That would be a hard no.
So John and his wife, John runs a CNC router, he runs an X-Carve.
Okay.
And his wife paints the projects.
Okay.
We didn't start out with wood.
No, we did not.
We started out in the metal industry. So I started out making different mechanical parts and stuff. And then I wanted a plasma table, and we felt like getting a plasma table, you were actually hesitant at first, but then it took about a week and you were like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
And then we made the love paw, and that thing took off, and you were like, okay, yeah, you're making a business out of it.
Yeah.
Like you were the one that told me we were making a business. So whenever we first started, it was either raw metal or spray paint.
Yep.
And then shortly after that, we bought a Eastwood powder coat gun. Just remember the first cheapy powder coat gun?
Yeah.
And so I did all the powder coating, and we started moving forward, but I didn't know I had powder coated earlier in my life.
Yeah.
So I knew the process, I knew the mechanics of it, but I didn't actually have the scientific knowledge I wanted on it. So we actually sent me to schooling. I've been to a lot of schooling since I've started this business.
Yeah.
So I actually became certified in powder coating. So you've really never touched any of the projects aside from like maybe mailing them, packaging them.
Not even really that.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, you're
I deliver them sometimes.
Yeah, so John, we have a very unique our system works for us, but it's very different than a lot of people's journey.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are like, okay, we get home at 5:00 and I'm going to run this and you're going to package that and you're going to do this and I'm going to do this. No, it's realistically, it's like, okay, I'm going out to the shop this morning. Don't bother me. And you're like, okay, I'm going to be on Zoom meetings. Leave me alone.
Yes.
That
is our typical day.
Yeah. So we don't interact as far as the shop side of things. It's me. The shop depends on me. If I'm not doing it, it's not getting done.
Right. I pretty much just make sure the bills are paid.
Yeah. I applaud you for that, because like I said, there would be times where I wouldn't have had money to buy materials to do a show to make the money.
Right.
If it wasn't for you saying, hold up, cowboy, you got to do this and this.
What's happening here?
Yeah. And that's an important aspect of business, because for me, not being a money guy, money is just an object to me. Like everybody asks me what success looks like, and I respond with six CNC routers, 6 CNC plasmas, a couple mills, a couple lathes. Like, to me, that's success, because in my head, I say, well, if I had that many machines, they have to be running.
Hmm.
And if they're running, then that means we're making money, when everybody else is like, oh, yeah, I want $2 million.
I want $2 million.
See? But for
But everybody's definition of success is different.
Right,
so
right. So
it's what matters to you.
right. And that's definitely one of those conversation pieces of what language do you speak and how can you speak it, because we've had to have sit downs with other people in the room to say, this is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Put it in words that she understands. Like, there was one night I was frustrated.
Yeah.
Like,
I was trying to explain overhead rates. Yeah.
And I don't understand that. The concept is above my head by far. You know, and whenever it comes to that, it comes to a point where I get so frustrated, I'm either going to lash out or I have to shut down.
Yeah.
And if it gets to that point, I'm done. Like,
You're done.
fucking close the business. I'm done.
And I think we've finally come to a point where it's just like, okay, here's what I really need you to tell me. You don't really need to understand how I'm getting there.
Right.
I just need you to tell me.
Right.
Was this for the plasma cam? Was this for the router? Was this for the laser? Was this for the robotic arm? Was this for whatever aspect it is? If you really want to do overhead rates properly, that's how I have to split out the buckets.
Right.
And as long as you can tell me that, I'm
and
good.
And that was a great way to put it to me.
Right.
She was like, think of your
What does it
machines as
benefit?
buckets.
What does this cost benefit? That's what I need to know.
Yeah. And you literally broke it down into child speak. I have a bucket for the plasma cam. Receipts, money, whatever needs to be documented that's
Right.
what it went for.
Right.
This is the router. This is general overhead. That's probably the hardest part for me right now, because I'm like, well, I bought sandpaper for this wood project, but I'm also going to use it to sand the metal, you know, after I get done cutting this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, it's general. And I'm like, no, it's router and plasma.
And you could split it that way, but if you really don't want to get that granular with it, if it benefits more than one thing, you just put it in the general. So as long as, so he's asking how I organize the money part of the business with all the receipts. I basically just tell him I need him to write on the receipt and tell me what you bought this for. That's all I need to know. So that's the best way I know how to do it.
I try to assign it to a machine and a project.
Right. And if you can assign it to a project, then that's fine too, because then I can show it in our books that it's going against that specific project. It's not going to be just for some general piece of equipment.
Right.
So, but that makes it a lot more accurate to create your overhead rates.
And that's
what you're shooting for.
Right. And that was a big sticking point for us, because I kept telling you, I need this. And you kept saying, I can't. And I'm
You're
like,
not giving me the information I need.
Right.
Then I can't create a rate for you, because it's going to be all over the board and nothing's going to be where it belongs, preventing me from calculating a rate. And I'm pretty much an expert in calculating rates.
Wow. She was like, you all suck at it. I'm the best.
Well, let's be honest. That's what I have done for years and years and years and years.
Yep.
I'm at like 14 years now, and like all I do is create rates, and I used to audit rates for companies, and I have a pretty good idea what should be in rates and what shouldn't.
And that was actually a funny setup. Like, you had a job where you would go in and audit companies,
Mm-hmm.
and I would get a call from you. Hey, I'm at this metal place and they have...
Oh, yeah, I did that all the time.
They have this machine. What does this machine
what does this thing do?
and I'd explain to her, and she'd be like, that's not what they're telling me. They're telling me it does this. And I'm like, no, they're
It's like,
telling
but
you
would you
wrong.
need to buy this thing for this machine? I did that all the time.
Yeah. And you caught a lot of
I
shit that
did.
way.
I did.
So it was funny because, I used to help her in her audits of these companies, as almost like a consulting aspect rather than anything else. Uh John wants to know about charging a customer and what's involved.
Well,
So
right now you have a formula that you use.
which I came across by happenstance, by luck, that it worked. Like nobody can figure out how my formula worked or why, but it worked.
And
And
I truthfully didn't have anything to do with that particular formula because at that time I didn't have the information I needed to come up with an overhead rate. And now that we finally got this piece straightened out, I'm like, later, once I can get like enough data to create that rate, you can easily take your labor, your materials, and apply this overhead rate to it. But until then, at least until then, you have to use this rate that you found.
and
I don't know
but
anything about that rate. I
I
mean, it
did,
works. It's fine.
yeah, and it actually worked out well. And what we found was, at first I was overcharging customers by a good bit because I didn't know how to charge them.
Hmm.
But I was lucky enough that my craftsmanship warranted that price,
Right.
and it really took off at that price. So then once we started figuring things out, we didn't lower our price.
No.
But then that's when the tariffs on the steel hit.
Hmm.
You remember that?
Hmm.
And everybody was calling me like, what are you raising your prices? What are you doing this? And I didn't have to raise my prices.
Right.
My prices stayed the same. And they were like, oh, I got to raise my prices. And we got a huge jump in customers from that
Hmm.
because we didn't raise our prices. And then that brought our prices right in line with everyone else. And then we started applying our overhead, and now we charge customers out the right way.
Right.
So um it really depends, John. For us, I do a lot of the quoting and charging out. You
Yes.
you don't take
Right.
care of
I
that
don't have
because you
any part
don't
of that.
know what part goes to what machine and everything like that. So for me, I have production charges, and I have uh a artistic charge, and then I have consultation charges. So I give you one free design where you say, hey, I want to make this. I go in, I design it, I send it to you. I would say 90 to 95% of the time, first one's the winner with my customers.
Usually. Yeah.
There are very few customers that I send it to them and they're like, no. And at that point, that's when I implement my art charge,
Hmm.
my creation, my design charge, and I charge $60 an hour, and I'll work on it as much as you want,
Right.
but you're gonna pay me that cost. And then from there, the actual sign creation is all taken care of in our overhead formula. So let's see.
So I use QuickBooks because QuickBooks is pretty easy to use. Half the battle is setting it up the way that you want it to be set up, but you can actually, anytime I put uh, a cost in, I can apply that rate to a project so it doesn't end up in an overhead rate anywhere if I want to. Um, but I think that like Peachtree can accomplish the same thing. It's really similar to QuickBooks. I've never used Peachtree personally, but I have audited Peachtree and it looks pretty similar to what QuickBooks can do, which are good for small to medium sized companies. But if you're getting into much, much larger companies, you'd want something more along the lines of like SAP or PeopleSoft or something like that. And those are much, much, much more complicated systems. SAP is what we use at work. And I actually work for Penn State, and part of my job is making sure that costs get applied to like grants and contracts for, I mean, industry and the government, but we actually have to do our costs the same exact way to create our overhead rates as what we do for this company. So, and we use SAP. So it's a massive, massive system though. QuickBooks is pretty simple.
Yeah, she uses QuickBooks Desktop at home
Mm-hmm.
for the shop. Um, do you charge your customers for wear and tear on bits and machines? I say yes, but that's charged out in the
That would be
overhead
in your
rate.
general overhead rate.
So we apply
We just implemented SAP at Penn State on July 1st, and I'd rather be shot.
what's SAP?
I don't know what it stands for because it's something German, but everybody knows it as SAP. That's
Okay.
just what it is.
Right on.
Well, you can do it both ways. If you buy the desktop version, I think it was like, I'm guessing, I can't remember, but I think it was about $100 to buy a version for my desktop. Or they have like a monthly thing that you can do, and you can do everything online. And I think that's like $9.99 a month or something like that. I just bought the one-time deal because I mean, they do push updates through, but for the most part, the updates are not that significant, and those versions stay around pretty long. Like I think my mom's boss's the little company she works for, they've been using QuickBooks forever, and I think the version that's on her computer is like 2003 or something. It's like, Mom, you might maybe want to think about updating that at this point. I mean, that's 17 years. You can probably.
One of the things that we ran into with the Covation Center was they wanted to do a kind of like a financial audit to see where they could help us, and everybody was like, "Oh, just pull up your QuickBooks online," and we couldn't do that because
No.
you use desktop.
Yeah.
So that's one of the pitfalls, is you have to export your data if you want to.
Yeah, and that's
see
kind
it.
of a pain. If you have to do stuff like that frequently, I wouldn't recommend the desktop. The other nice thing about the online version of QuickBooks is that you can actually invoice people and send them invoices that way. I can't do that on mine. I can create invoices and I could probably send them to them, but then I'd have to have that subscription to do it that way. So we just don't do it that way.
Okay. Guys, we're gonna give you 1 minute. Copperhead says he doesn't like subscription services.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either because, I mean, technically I paid for the same exact thing unless, in a one-time purchase. And then if I buy the subscription service, I've now paid more for it in just 1 year. And
Right.
that doesn't make sense to me, but
But you can spread that out over time.
Yeah, but if I only paid $100 for the disc, I mean, really, it's just the convenience of being able to access it anywhere. If that's something you need, then definitely the subscription service. But if you're like me and I sit down every couple of weeks to put receipts in, and that's all I'm really using it for, you don't really need a subscription service for that.
Yeah. Right on. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to post a question for Kimberly, and if not, I'm going to kick her ass out and put her back in the kitchen. Go make me a sandwich, woman.
Okay. I'd like to make you a turkey, but I can't because it's frozen.
That's another thing. A lot of people don't know how to take our relationship, like the way we talk to each other.
If he didn't talk to me like that, I'd be like, he's going to divorce me. Like, he's done with me. I wouldn't know any other way. If you didn't talk to me like that, I'd be worried.
We have a very fun, loving relationship where it's very lighthearted. We love each other to death. I love you to death. I can't speak for her. She's probably gonna rat poison me or some shit. But but seriously, you know, I love you to death, but we make jokes like that.
Yeah.
Like our whole relationship revolves around laughing and hugging each other and pulling out inappropriate body parts and
Okay, well, that's not you to me, but let's make that clear.
helicopter.
Jesus.
So, oh, we got Dre on.
Hi, Dre.
Dre just popped on. To catch you up, Dre, we got Miss Kimberly here. She was talking about her experience as a female business owner, my wife, my business partner, owning a business that she doesn't really understand the mechanics of and stuff like that. So, um, we're gonna start the clock on the 1 minute. If they don't have any questions, I'm gonna boot you out.
Okay.
Okay. Um, other than that, you want to tell a joke or something?
I don't really have any jokes.
Yeah, you don't have a personality. Cold-hearted, but no personality.
That I am.
Yeah.
That's true.
Tell us about your dogs. Watch this.
I love my dogs so much. I do love my dogs. They're my babies.
What animal do you want the most?
What animal? A penguin? Will you get me? You can get me a penguin for Christmas?
No, I'm not.
Someday.
But I am getting a monkey.
No, you aren't getting a monkey if I'm not getting a penguin.
Okay. Dre came up with. All right.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna cut
Going
you
back
loose.
to the kitchen.
Do you need any help, or are you good? Or
No, I'm good.
okay.
I'm good.
Thank
Might
you.
need help getting up.
Thank you for your time, baby.
Sure.
I appreciate it.
I love
The
you.
people appreciate it. So guys, that was my wife Kimberly. We went ahead and talked about some business stuff. You know, it's not all peaches and cream all the time. Business can be very difficult. It can put a huge strain on a relationship. There are times, John, thank you. There are times where we sit there and we neglect to acknowledge the people that helped us get to where we are. You know, the biggest thing I can say is my wife and my daughter are mainstays. My parents, my mother and father are mainstays. You know, if it wasn't for my mom and dad, we wouldn't have the shop at the house. I would have had to close the shop down. They bought the new shed that I use, the new shop that I use for the woodworking aspect of everything. You know, that wouldn't have happened without them. So now, you know, I'm eternally grateful to all the people that allowed me to do what I do now. And I'm hoping to bring you guys uh, more information on that type of stuff and her business. Did you guys go about starting it the same way or different as far as an LLC, etc.? Dre, we started an LLC right off the bat. And we use the Small Business Development Center at Penn State to actually help us with all the paperwork and getting legit, setting up EIN number. I mean, the Small Business Development Center is a resource for you. Do it. go talk to the people, take time out of your day, go talk to them, go do what you got to do, and utilize the resources. I would say that's probably one thing that happened uh, that was best for me was I reached out to find out what resources are available. Um, you know, that's that's the biggest thing is what resources are available and what can you do with those resources. So, do you offer free shipping on to previous customers? Um, I don't necessarily offer free shipping, but um I do offer discounts and stuff like that. Like I have guys that have ordered hundreds of parts from me, and obviously I'm not going to charge them the artwork cost because they they've already proven like, look, I want to buy from you. I'm going to buy from you. Show me what my piece is going to look like. Um, Dre, that's what this whole show is about, is providing info, man. I can't wait for you guys to actually have a sit down with Carlos uh, this week. Um, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to teach him how to melt aluminum and cast aluminum. We're going to, what all are we going to do? We're going to cast aluminum. We're going to uh, laser etch fabric, router assign. We're going to play with the robotic arm, etc., etc., etc. So, um, Patriots and Truth Seekers, thanks for dropping all your knowledge on us, less inferior CNCers. Man, Patriots, if you post up your name, I'll be able to call you by your first name, or a pseudonym, whatever you feel. But I'm not dropping any knowledge. I'm just on here, talking about stuff. Mark, good to see you, my man. Um, you know, I I'm not dropping any knowledge. Um, I'm literally just talking to people. I want to get out. I want to expand my network and let people know, like, look, this is what's up. This is how it is. I'm doing this in our dog room. Um, literally, my dogs sleep on the couch back there that you can see in the shot. I have half-ass curtains, the dog blankets in the background, and I have a half-ass office set up where I have the computer and camera and microphone and stuff, and I have a whiteboard over there. Like I'm shoehorning this thing together. I'm piecemealing it together, and I'm trying to build an infrastructure. I've got to figure out a way to get the dogs in here, but be able to hide their beds. I'm thinking maybe like a wainscoting Murphy bed for them, something like that. That way I can hide it, but it's still there if they need it, but I can hide it so that I can utilize this space more efficiently, you know. Um, but I'm just doing this off the cuff. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to elaborate on what I'm learning and put that into perspective and into practice. Okay. Uh, Patriots and Truth Seekers, Mark. John used LegalZoom for his LLC. LegalZoom is good. The one thing I like about the Small Business Development Center helping you is the fact that they actually have lawyers on staff that will sit down with you and walk you through everything, and they'll consult with you, and then they actually file the paperwork uh, as a lawyer. Um, Copperhead. That's fun. We built a small furnace to melt cans in a few years ago. Still have the cornbread ingots. Yeah, yeah. We use cast iron molds. Um, we have a Devil Forge uh, F FB2M or FM2B furnace. We have 20-pound and 100-pound tanks that we run it on. We've been able to melt scrap steel, uh, but from what all accounts that I'm understanding is we're basically melting and suspending the carbon mix in cast iron. It's not actually steel that we're producing. It's actually a like a cast iron. So I'm still learning how to do that, but it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, with that being said, guys, I mean, I've got plasma to do today. I've got fabric to cut. I've got powder coating to do. I've got shipping to do. Um, there's a lot going on here, guys. So with that being said, I am going to bid you guys adieu. Have a great weekend. No, I'll catch you. I might do one tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I might do a Thanksgiving episode. Comment on the side if I do a Thanksgiving episode, would you guys watch? Doing it 9 o'clock as always. Heck yeah, good show again. Okay, Mark, thank you. Or Mike. Mark was Patriots. Um, you know, that's cool. Uh, if I can get, let's see, if I can get two more, yes, I'll watch. I'll do a show tomorrow. If not, I'll catch you on Black Friday before I head to my show. Um, right on. I'll be in the shop working with Carlos and eating food and everything like that. So, um, I'll tell you what, I'll be looking for the comments. Give me a yes, I'll watch in the comments if you'll watch. And if you will watch, I will put on a show tomorrow, do a Thanksgiving special. And who knows, we might have a couple cool guests on. And we'll go from there. All right. Later, guys.